So, our horses. Now, 13 mares were out there the last time I came out. 7 of them were pregnant.
Right.
How they doing?
We may have slipped a foal, the oldest Palomino, and she's very rare in this herd. May have slipped her foal. We're not positive. But she doesn't look as pregnant as she did.
Oh, so she may have lost the baby.
Perhaps. Maybe
Yeah.
the foal just shifted, and I hope that is the case.
I hope that's the case, because she's a beautiful buckskin. We have pictures of her.
She's a Palomino.
Palomino. But this is my concern now. We've got these 13 mares, some of them pregnant. You've got the stallions up at your house separate from them.
We do.
These 13 mares are in Poway. We talked about that.
Ramona.
What's in Ramona, at this 140-acre spot where we took the last video. But what's the, here's one of the great horses here, this one, and there's a couple of them playing around there. So what's the future?
We hope that within the year, and maybe even within the next 6 months, that we will have a range assessment so that we can start rehabilitating these horses back into the wild on the Beauty Mountain area. This is their historic range since at least the 1800s, after the missions dispersed these animals among the Indian villages.
And then the Indians, over time, those horses kind of got out, they got wild.
Well, there were no fences.
No fences. They aren't ridden. I mean, these horses have never been ridden. They've never been, and they're out there. They're like wild animals at this point.
Never haltered, never hobbled.
Yep. And look at them. They're just gorgeous. Good grief. They're so healthy looking. You've really brought these horses back. They've had some tough times. But talk about this mountain where you want them to go. What's the name of it again?
It's called the Beauty Mountain Wilderness Area. It is on the San Diego Riverside County line in Northeast County. It's under now the Isabona Wilderness, Feinstein Wilderness designation. It used to be all Bureau of Land Management and the Centuries habitat for wild horses, wild cattle. Because remember, when they were first brought here, there were no fences.
No.
And in many areas of the county, it's still designated open range.
Wow. So this Bureau of Land Management, meaning it's federally owned land,
Correct.
has been designated wilderness, and you're hoping to put these horses that have been running wild all these decades back onto their traditional and just let them run wild.
Exactly.
Now, what's the obstacles?
Mostly the political atmosphere today is to remove all of the wild horse herds, to manage them to extinction on all of the public lands. So we're a microcosm of the bigger picture. We're also the solution to the bigger picture because we have the only program that has community support, county support, congressional support within our own elected officials to repatriate these animals, which are our heritage.
Yep.
We're not talking about animal rights, Roger. We're talking about our heritage, our rights to maintain our heritage and our roots.
So let's go back over that. This, the Bureau of Land Management, which owns the land, actually has a policy to so-called manage these herds to extinction, meaning they really want to wipe them out.
That's correct, based on results.
And yes, of course, they've done this in Nevada. As you say, it's a national thing. They've done it all over the place. Because there's wild horse herds all over the West, or was, before all this started. Why would they want to exterminate these beautiful horses?
Maybe you should ask them. All of the information and feedback I get from people that have studied the Agenda 21 issue a lot deeper than I have, including Henry Lamb, Tina Trenner, all different parts of unrelated peoples that have come to the same conclusion that the Agenda 21 is to remove all grazing stock from the public lands, private livestock as well as our wild horses.
So even those that, like a lot of cattlemen will lease land from the BLM to run cattle at certain times of the year for feed, even they are being pressured out.
Exactly.
So the BLM thought that they expressed to us was, well, there's a lot of endangered species. A lot of people, there's a lot of these species we've got to protect. Actually, these horses are invasive species. They were introduced by the Europeans, by the Spaniards. They're invasive species, and they inhibit or harm the whatever, endangered native species of this land. And that's really why they want to go after these horses.
Are you saying that with tongue in cheek, Roger?
I'm saying that's what they told me. Of course, it's ridiculous, but What's your reaction to that? Because that's what they say.
Well, if you look at all of the data, fossil evidence, you'll find wild horse fossil evidence in Coyote Canyon itself, whereas if you look on the website for the bighorn sheep, you will see that Mark Jorgensen says that the bighorn sheep are native from Russia, and they came across the Bering Straits, the Bering Bridge.
I mean, everybody's an immigrant.
Except the wild horses, there are mammals that were native to North America, including the equus species. You'll find them in the La Brea tar pits.
Right.
You'll find them in Idaho. You'll find them in Coyote Canyon.
But they're not the ancestors of these horses.
Yes, the DNA, yes, they are.
They are. Because I thought you said they came here with the Spaniards, these horses.
They're a reintroduced native species.
Ah, okay. So there, and talk about this burro. I love this burro, Bridget. She really is the nanny for this whole group of horses.
Bridget Burdew, she's named after San Bernardino County and the Clark Mountain burros that have been pretty much zeroed out. She's one of the very few left from that herd, and her brother Harley Davidson, which we Harley manages the stallions, Bridget manages.
Seriously, these horses have a manager in the form of a burro. This is a pretty large burro. I mean, this is a pretty rare breed as well, right?
The Clark Mountain burros, yes. They've originally they were from Baja California and Mexico. Most people think they came in with the miners after the 1840 gold strikes, etc., but they did not. They came up from Baja.
What's the effect of Bridget on this herd?
She actually does manage them. She kind of circles around and keeps the coyotes from attacking them or anything else from attacking them. She's very intelligent. She's very pushy, very opinionated, and she does believe she's the most beautiful out there because she has the ears.
And they don't. What a classic this. I fed this animal a little candy that you said she likes, and she's crunching that thing when we were out there. That was a lot of fun. Bridget was a terrific personality, and you're right, she's kind of just hovers around those horses who otherwise just want to eat and run around and have fun.
And if you say, Bridget, come here, she will come and the rest of the herd will follow her.